Hello, everybody. Clay here, Cardboard Empires, and today I want to talk about the recent brouhaha, the shenanigans surrounding CGC and their 1 week deadline to submit your cards to get them graded, and why I think if you got swept up in this, or if you didn't, then the people who did get caught up in this just got taken for a ride in a big bad way. CGC, to get a little bit of backstory here, CGC just as of yesterday raised their price from $8 to $15 per bulk card to get it graded. And before they did that, they sent out an email that said, "Hey, everybody, we're going to be raising our prices in 1 week. So from today, the date of the email that they sent out, you now have 1 week to get all of your cards into CGC to get it graded at our old $8 price. Any submission afterwards is going to be at the new $15 price." Now, of course, I'm sure we all expected this. There was a rush to get your cards into CGC. And I'm hearing reports from people that on the last day the website is crashing. Maybe the last couple of days people can't get their submissions in. People are submitting support tickets to the website asking to help fix it. Please, your website's crashing. And CGC, in their infinite wisdom, very kindly said, "No problem. We got you guys covered." No, we're not going to extend the deadline. We're sorry. First of all, we're sorry that our website crashed. It's not our fault because we knew there was going to be a flood, so we tried to preemptively fix it so that this wouldn't happen. Unfortunately, we didn't succeed. It happened, and we're sorry. We feel your pain. No, we're not going to extend the deadline, but what we will do is if you want to send your cards in, you now have an extra couple days to get it to the warehouse. There was like a 2-part contingency here with their order. It was, you have a week to get your submission digitally entered into our website, and then you have another week after that to get the box full of cards into our warehouse. So what they said was, no, you can't enter any more submissions, but now you have extra time to get the box in the warehouse. Like, that has anything to do with the website crashing? How does that help anybody? So that was a real good move on their part. But this is all obvious, and it solidifies to me what I had suspected all along. And let me say, before any litigious corporate types watch this video and think that I'm telling tales out of school, this is all my opinion. This is not fact. So take it for a grain of salt. I think CGC doing this was all very, very calculated from the beginning. And it reeks of that. It has all the markers that this was done not as a favor to the collecting community. This was done very purposefully to drive business. I think, in my opinion, they were either trying to, one, impress potential investors. Maybe there's about to be a change of hands with the company. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe there's a buyout. Who knows? But it could have been done to impress potential investors. Or two, which to me might be more likely, that they were doing it to try and impress an underwriter at the bank, because they need to, I'm assuming all of this, that they need to expand their facility footprint. They need to get more warehouses. They need to hire more staff, get machines, buy AI robots to grade cards like PSA. And so what's a company to do if you need all of these capital intensive projects to be done at once immediately? Well, you go to your local bank and you take out a loan, and this is going to be a big loan that they're going to need, several $1 million at least. And well, what's the problem with CGC doing this for their grading card service? Their grading card service, which I think is, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's its own LLC or if it's its own corporate entity, or if it's a subsidiary. But the portion of the company that grades trading cards, the Pokemon cards, is only about a year old. It's still a very brand new part of the company. And if it is its own corporate entity, which I think it might be, just is usually how these things work for accounting purposes, legal purposes, tax purposes. These things are usually divided up into their own entities. No bank is going to give a company a massive loan like that if it's only a year old without some good reason. And I'm sure they have probably a lot of collateral assets that they can put up to secure the loan. But an underwriter, a savvy underwriter, and especially in the world that we're looking at right now, might want more than collateral assets just to secure the loan. They might be looking at the business model and say, look, CGC, I get it. You guys have done great things in your first year, but there's a little problem called PSA. There's a little problem called Beckett. You don't have that much market share when it comes to grading cards. You're not that big of a name. And therefore, we're not too sure if we're going to underwrite this loan for $5 million based on the strength of you saying, trust us, we can increase our business. So the underwriter goes back to Mr. CGC and says, you got to prove to us that this loan can be repaid in the near future. This 5-year loan can be repaid because you're not doing enough business right now to make us comfortable that you're going to be able to repay this loan. And the only thing we have is the strength of your word to say, we will be able to drive this business in the future. So again, this is all my opinion. What would a company do like CGC if faced with these predicaments? Well, all easy, Mr. Banker. Watch this. Let me show you. Let me show you exactly how much demand there is for our service. Sits down at the keyboard, types out email. Hey, everybody. Just want to let you all know that in a week from now, we're going to be raising our prices. So if you want to take advantage of our services at the $8 price tag, feel free to send your cards in. He sits back with his banker. He says, okay, check this out. And they just watch the website crash, the flood of customers. And the underwriter's sitting there like, okay, I get it. Here's your loan. Now, is this an actual example of the true market demand for CGC graded cards? No. There's a lot of other precipitating factors here. PSA being closed down. For some reason, the absolute fever pitch that the graded card world is in right now, people have convinced themselves, at least in the short term, that CGC graded Pokemon cards are going to be the next big thing. I don't think it is. I think the slabs and the label are ugly. I think it is much too difficult to get a 10. Now, that said, with PSA adopting their AI, we'll see moving forward what that's going to be like. Because if PSA tightens the bolts on getting a pristine 10, now we have a little bit of room for CGC to creep into the market. But if it is still, I don't want to say easy, but realistic that on your best cards, you might be able to get a PSA 10, and CGC is still so strict with handing out their pristine 10 label. I just don't see there being a big opening for CGC in the market. I can't think of any other reason why CGC would release this letter 1 week and let people just flood in their service. And the whole part about like, oh, we're sorry that the website crashed. We realize this is our fault, but tough luck. Sorry. That just, again, lends to this whole idea that there are other things that are leading to this decision. And I know people are not going to be happy that I think CGC labels are ugly. And hey, I think CGC labels are actually really cool looking on comic book slabs. They have cool looking labels for graded coins. I just don't think it looks that good with a trading card. There's something about the way that a trading card has the borders on it, and then the PSA label mimics the borders on a trading card with their little red box. It just flows very nicely. It's very aesthetically pleasing, where I don't think the CGC labels, when matched with a Pokemon card, is very aesthetically pleasing. Sorry, aesthetics are, it's personal taste, so it's okay if you like them. We're all allowed to have our own personal taste as far as aesthetics go. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think, like I do, that this was a calculated business move by CGC? And maybe you think my analysis is wrong. Maybe you don't think it has anything to do with investors or a potentially impressing an underwriter at the bank to secure a business loan. Maybe you think it's something else, and I would be interested to find out what that is. But I definitely don't think that this has anything to do with this was not a philanthropic move where they're looking out for the common card collector and just saying, hey, we get it. You don't want to pay $15 for a CGC graded card. So we're going to open our hearts and open our warehouse and our doors to you for the next week and say, you can still get our service at $8 a card. I don't think so. Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching the video. If you've made it this far, please consider subscribing. Consider hitting the like button. Gives me the motivation I need to continue making these videos. And as always, I will catch you later.